welcome to the Knitting Samurai and Her Guys video podcast. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai and Adorn It Steph on Instagram. If you're looking for me, you can find me in both those places. Both those places. That's just one place, two names. The other place you can find me is Ravelry. That is my oldest firstborn. This is Macoban. He's a Devon Rex and he's pushing 15 years old. So he's been with us for a while, long time, big guy. Those of you who've been watching, he's the more somber and quieter cat that you see less of over the years of the podcast. But I assure you he's there and he's totally Steve's cat. So it is a sunny day here in New Hampshire. I know I like to be outside, you like to be outside, but it is currently 83 degrees and I couldn't do it. It's too much. I just got a new blow dryer and creatine shampoo. I've been watching some YouTube videos on dealing with thick, wavy hair. And I'm liking what the results are, right? Yeah, ion blow dryer. I spent way more for a blow dryer than anyone should spend as far as I'm concerned, unless you're a beautician, stylist, whatever the title is you prefer. But I'm really pleased with the results. So this is the Rusk Wireless 2000 blow dryer. I got it off of Amazon, and I also got the It's a 10, which was recommended to me from a podcast. Maybe I'll link it. I've subscribed to her, so you can see her in my subscription. But anyways, this is not a show about my hair. I know. This is a show about my knitting, and there's been a ton of it lately. So I've been doing Stash Dash and the Splash Pad Party. Those are two knit-alongs. One's hosted by the Knit Girls with 3 L's. You should watch their podcast. Go find details there. And the other one is hosted by Down Cellar Studios. That's Boston Jen. She's in audio. It's great. So I finished the X Games for Jen. Ooh, I haven't logged it. I need to record it. And so that was great. That pushed me to knit some different things, some unusual items that I normally wouldn't knit, like a cozy, right? The drink bevy holder, cooler thing. So that's great. I did this. Just whipped it up quick. I want to say it's like 70 yards. It's a really quick project. Knit on size 5s with fingering weight yarn held double. This is some Into the World Manchester sock that I've been using for a lot of projects lately. So I hear little feet, so we may get visited by, nope, I see all 3 of them lined up at the back door. Never mind, I'm hearing things. So the Splash Pad Party has pushed me to knit some things I wouldn't knit, like the washcloths and whatnot. So that was great for variety. The Stash Dash is a knit along to accomplish 5 meters of knitting in about 3 months. 5K? 5 kilometers, not meters, 5 kilometers of knitting in about 3 months. And I tallied the other day, and in 2 months I've done about a third of it. So I need to get my butt in gear here. So I've pulled out quite a few UFOs and that have been languishing that I'm just gonna whip them out and get them off the needles, right? So hopefully that'll help with my yardage. So you're gonna see a lot of things finished and a lot of things that you haven't seen before. But unfortunately, no exciting new cast-ons, really. So that said, the first thing I'm gonna show you so I've got a pile of finished objects, some new yarn, some what's on my needles, and then I'm gonna do a shop update segment too at the end. So let's go. Okay, so I even pulled out sock blockers because I felt like really showcasing my socks to you guys. So these I was knitting, you recall, last week. I had the first one finished and I commented on how great the fit was. Here's where I was on the second one, just at the beginning of this blue stripe. So I finished that. I put in an afterthought. I put in the German short row heel. That's the second one I've ever done. I love how simple it is. It's like deceptively simple for sure. And then color work up the leg and 1x1 rib in the Knit Picks plum tweed colorway, and this is Knit Picks Felici, the other color, the not dark purple color. The stripe color is Felici in the color candy jar. I slow down my mouth here. And so I knit the first one and I was commenting, oh my gosh, it fits so well. I can't believe how great this heel fits. I think I jinxed myself because either I was really stressed knitting the second one, because look, this is the first one and I've got, well, I'm gonna see, a good inch of extra room on the back. And here's the second one. And, oh, I've got a good inch. Well, the second one is a little bit tight here along this purple and pink star line. A little tight along the purple and pink star line on the top of my foot. So I don't know if I was feeling stressed when I was knitting that, in a hurry to get it done, but they're still both lovely socks. I can't wait to wear them. I've already worn them. In fact, yesterday we were at the house, it was Sunday, and the air conditioning was on, and we were having our morning coffee, and I thought, my toes are cold. So I wore my socks for a few minutes, not very long. Really happy with how these turned out. So there's those that are off the needles. I talked to you last time about the socks for my father-in-law, which are, oh, sorry. This pattern is the stripes and stranded and stripes. Stop sneezing. This is the stripes and stranded socks, I believe, by Carmen. I'll put it right here, but that's what that is. This one, I think it's squares and stripes, and these are, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go get a tissue. These are on the needles for my father-in-law. I had just a little bit of the cuff left to do and I ran out of the main color, which the main color of the toe, is called Flax, and it's by Patton's Croy. I got it at Joann's. I thought it was a great man sock. Apologies, there's been some serious sneezing going on over here. I don't know what's up. So I'll just show you these again. Okay, so these are I think they're called, I don't know, squares and stripes or something. That's what I call them anyways. This is my third pair of these socks I knit. I really enjoyed them. One's on the bottoms, three's on the top with Patton's Croy, which is more like a sport weight yarn. So these flew off the needles. Last time I showed them to you, I had run out of the main color, which is this. The Patton's Croy socks in Flax. So I ordered some more. It came in. I finished the leg on the second sock. So here they both are. I put in afterthought heels. I can't remember if you saw those or not, but I thought it was fun to make them a little bit stripey, a little bit, I don't know, they remind me of like a spiral into a circle. Like they're like optical illusion or something. I don't know. It's just what I get from them. So these are finished socks. They fit me. They're for my father-in-law, who's just cold everywhere. So I think he'll really appreciate the color work, the double thick sport weight socks. And they're short because I like short socks. And so everyone gets short socks now. So these are finished. I did order 2 more skeins of the Flax color, and I needed about 10 yards, if that, to finish these. So I think I told him I would knit him a pair of socks. And so he asked for something that would go with khaki. And so I think I'll do this color and then do a little bit of color work at the top of the cuff for him next. He has diabetes, so I know I need to make them loose for him. So that's next sockage, I'm thinking, down the line. I'm not casting on anything new. The next thing I have to show you haven't seen before. So this is the Tooth Fairy pillow. It was published by Knit Picks, and the pattern is by Christy Kazi, and it was for Knit Picks. So here he is. This is Toothy. So I started him Friday or Saturday night, and I knew Ro had a loose tooth, his back tooth, not his back tooth, one of his front teeth on the bottom. The adult tooth had come in behind the baby teeth in front, and so we've been working to like wiggle that front tooth out and get it out of the way so the adult tooth can go forward and fill the space. And so he's been working on it, and Saturday day I was knitting on this, and then Saturday night he was really excited to have the pillow, and I was like, well, I won't finish it before you go to bed, but I can leave it in your room when I go to bed. And it's okay. And then he disappears into the bathroom. and he has an apple, right? We've been pushing him to eat apples to help loosen it, so he knows that. So he disappears into the bathroom, and I'm knitting. 3 minutes later, Mom, my tooth's gone! I lost my first tooth! So he's so excited to lose his first tooth. So then I'm kitchening the top of this together as fast as I can, and I've got to put in this pocket on the back to put the tooth in. So Steve takes them upstairs and reads to them. Robert, I think it's Robert McCluskey. He wrote Make Way for Ducklings, Bert Dow, and One Morning in Maine, which is about a little girl losing her tooth. I didn't read them growing up, but Steve loved them. We're both from Maine, and so I think there's some connection with him, with the author being from Maine or something. And so so Steve read them the whole book, which is, his books are pretty long. Like, you're committed for half an hour. They're not a quick read. So while he was doing that, I got the pocket done. Okay, good. So we put the tooth in, and Roland slept like this on him. And when I went to bed, I checked up on Roland, and Roland had put him up on his pillow, and then Roland was laying diagonal in his bed, so Toothy had plenty of space all to himself. So these are eyes I got at 60, whatever the Etsy shop is. I'm probably not going to list it. If you have a question, give me a comment, shoot me a note, and I'll answer you as to the shop name. It's in my favorite shops over on Etsy, but I can't recall the name of it off the top of my head. So I just put some eyes, and they're not quite centered. I was trying. I was actually, because the pattern, I don't think you can see the picture. It doesn't call for eyes, but I wanted to have them. The pattern was pretty well written. I did make the legs a lot longer because I just thought the pattern had a kind of a stubby tooth, short tooth, and I changed where the decreases are on the top because I wanted it to look more like a molar, but really it doesn't. It's still flat and wide. I pictured like that on the top, but it's fine. It works, and he loved it. So there's Toothy. I'm supposed to make a Toothy for Tristan because what one wants, the other wants. And we're fine with that. We've accepted that having 2 boys doesn't mean you save on anything. It means you buy 2 of everything. Or you listen to fighting, and I'm not into fighting. So, and I was an only child, and so I think my boys should have, if one's gonna have something, they should both have it, and they shouldn't be left out. Just my parenting philosophy for you. And there are plenty of things they take turns on, trust me, but a hand knit thing for Mom that took maybe 8 hours to knit, I can make a second one. So I'm going to make Tristan one, but I'm going to use sport weight yarn. This I knit on size 5s because they were out from knitting on this and for knitting on a baby sweater, so I just grabbed them and used that with some worsted weight. This is acrylic yarn I had in my stash. So I'm going to do one really small just to keep it interesting for myself, basically, because I feel like Toothy's kind of big. You couldn't put them under your pillow. I mean, you could, but you'd feel them. So I'll do one with fingering weight yarn and size 1s. And so we'll see how that one turns out. I'll have that for you for next week. So what I'm dreaming about, let's talk about what I'm dreaming about. It is time for the semi-annual cleaning of the hand knits. And so I have a bunch of sweaters. There were several years. For the first 5 years of Roland's life, I knit him a new at least one new hand knit sweater every year. And until in the first 2 years of Tristan, I did that. And we'd take our family Christmas card photo with the hand knit sweaters, and oh, aren't they cute? And then last year, I was overwhelmed, and so I didn't. And so I'm washing all these great sweaters that no longer fit Roland, but now Tristan can wear. And one of them is just gorgeous. And I remember knitting it. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but I knit it well. I was on maternity leave with Tristan, and Tristan was looking at it and oohing and ahhing. It's going to be my sweater, because I think Roland wore it twice. Like, the thing has absolutely no wear in it. And so I looked at Roland, and I was like, how about I knit you another one to match Tristan's? And so I pulled out these 2 acrylic. This is acrylic. This is ultra alpaca, Barocco ultra alpaca. So it's an alpaca wool blend. I don't know how itchy it'll be, if he can handle that. The sweater I pulled out that we were loving on so much was a Madeline Tosh. I know. No, it wasn't. It was Malabrigo. That's what it was. whatever their worsted weight superwash is. It has these beautiful cables, and it's a gray. I think it was called Playa. Beautiful sweater, but I don't want to invest that much money into knitting a sweater for a size. He's probably an 8 or a 10, depending on how long I want him to have the sweater. So I looked at my acrylic stash. So this is some Barocco vintage. What is vintage? I can't even remember anymore. 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So it should be warm and wear pretty well, you know, last. So I pulled these out, and I'm gonna have him look at them tonight and see if he prefers either one. I could see either going classy with cables, like I could literally knit that same sweater again. It's been 4 years since I knit it. I could knit it with acrylic and it would be lovely. The only difference I would make is the neck was a little boat necky, and so I would tighten that up a little bit because they're not babies and they don't have that big head to body ratio anymore. So I would tighten that up, but I could do the same sweater again, or I could see myself making him a crazy rainbow color-tastic sweater, which is what I would have wanted as a child, but I'm not sure how he would feel. And then that would just be stripes and straight stockinette. So they'll both be fun to knit. I love cables as well. I don't love cables as much as I love color work, but cables aren't bad, right? So we'll see. That's what I'm dream knitting about. I did get a new, oh, this one doesn't have a tag on it. I watched the Knit Shift with Laura. She's amazing. I love her. She's my go-to top podcast. The minute her episodes are available, I watch them. That's the Knit Shift. She's just so down to earth and fun, and I find her stuff so interesting. She has a great outlook. So she was talking about Feederbrook Farm, some yarn that she purchased there, and I've been wanting to make the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mallory, which I'm not going to cast on right now, but I thought it would look really pretty in a hand knit yarn, a hand spun yarn, and this yarn is purposely spun to look. It's a 2-ply, and it's just all barb pulled. So they're very, very pretty. This is 100% blue-faced Leicester wool. I don't know where the tag is on this, but I think they're the same yarn. And this is 260 yards, and I want to say this is probably 400 or 500. So they go together in my head. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. They're definitely a toothier wool, and I'm not sure about next to skin. I'm a baby about that. Like, if it's not merino, I'm not really great with it. Okay, next thing. Baby sweater for the shop. Just quick. Here's, oh, where'd it go? I finished the other one. But I don't have it here. I do have one more. Let me get that out of the way. I do have one more FO to share with you. So this is the baby sweater I was working on last time. This is an acrylic yarn. I talked at length last episode, but it is washed, blocked, ends woven in, blue star buttons sewn on. I don't know how well you can see them from this distance, but it's really, really cute. I love it. So this will be going up in the shop. And I started another one. So this one is bright Kelly green. I'm in the process of splitting off for the sleeves. I've got one sleeve off and one sleeve not quite off yet. There's a purple that's just pretending to be part of the sweater. So it's chartreuse and Kelly green and top down raglan Henley sweater for a 1-year-old, and I decided to make the contrast stripes into pearl ridges, so I really like that look. I think this one's really fun. So that's going on, and I'm knitting that with, I don't have a ball band in here. Nope, I don't have a ball band. It's 100% acrylic yarn, so, and it's running around in this beauty. I pulled out, so that's it for quasi new. I guess it's new since you last saw me. I pulled out my Fallen Clouds. So this is written, I'm working off the written instructions. I knit one of these about a year ago, in this beautiful mustard color. Fallen Cloud by Lisa Haynes, Hannes. So I knit it last May. Beautiful mustard color that, oh hey, I'm gonna be looking for my wallet later. That's not where it goes. In this beautiful mustard color that I really don't wear, right? And the shawl itself, I can't give away, I don't wanna hold it up because I might give things away. But it's a triangle design with a cable design running along one side. It's beautiful, right? And garter across the top, beautiful. So, but it is very deep down as a shawl, and I just don't use it as much as I would like. And when I finished it, I immediately loved knitting it so much that I thought, well, I can tweak this pattern and take it from the sharp, I can't remember what kind of triangle that's called, where it's like, anyways, take it from that sharp triangle and turn it into a crescent. So I started, and I've made some changes, and you can see how it's flowing along and it's curving. This is Madeline Tosh in Dr. Zhivago's Sky, which I love this color so much. I made one trip to Webb's and bought a skein, and then I made a second, I don't live near Webb's, made a second trip to Webb's and bought a sweater's worth. But for some reason last May, I cast on for the shawl instead of for a sweater. So I better wear this a lot because it is squishy, it is gorgeous. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see the cables, but there are 3 different cables worked in the fabric along the edge. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's gonna be so fun to wear. And look at how the colors, the contrast, the variegation, there we go, in the garter. You know, you can see the bias lines. It's just so beautiful. It's a great gray, and gray is one of my favorite colors. So here it is in the skein form. I have 2 skeins to go. This is Tosh DK. That's what it is. And maybe that's why, because it wasn't the worsted weight, maybe that's why I didn't do a sweater. Although why, I don't know. Whatever my thinking was. But Dr. Zhivago is a great gray. It's a, it's more of a blue gray, if that helps you at all, but it's definitely a black blue gray, not a purple gray, if that helps. So that's beautiful. I'm working on that. I'm gonna finish that this time. I'm thinking it's a 3 skein shawl, and I've got 1.5 skeins into it. So pick that back up, and it's fun. It's so fun because it's a 7 row. No, they're evens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 row. Sorry, 8 row repeat of the pattern. So it's like, oh, let me sit down and just do 8 rows. And because I made it a crescent, I'm holding the stitch count, whereas it would be getting bigger and bigger if it were the triangle. So I'm holding the stitch count, so it's pretty easy to keep going on it. And then the last 2 things I have to show you are socks. So I had some socks that have been, I haven't looked at these in a while, so we're looking at them together. I just discovered this in the bottom of, we have one of those footstools in the living room that's like a storage bin, and it's this wide and that deep, and it's full of knitting stuff that I had when company comes, and headphones and all kinds of things in there. And so before I started recording, I popped it open and was looking, and I saw this pouch in there, which is super cute. And this is a silver shed pouch. And I pulled it out and saw, oh, 2 socks. I've been looking for these as a potential finish it off for Stash Dash. So there's a stitch marker there. These are Patton's Croy stripes. Nope, just Patton's Croy sock in the colorway turquoise stripes. Ooh, creative. So that's how far I am. It is a 2x2 rib on the top. The needles are 0s on almost sport weight yarn, so it's a nice dense fabric. That's what I have on that one. And then the other one looks like they're going along together. I don't know if this, no, I've got gusset increases on it, so that is marking where the gusset increase started. So I will be doing Wendy Johnson's slip stitch heel. It's my go-to sock heel pattern. I love it. I've loved it for 10 years. It's my favorite sock heel. So this one doesn't look like I've started gusset increases, so I'm not quite sure what I'm marking with my little frog magician. So there's that. So those socks, and then those will be finishing off soon. And then I found another shoved in the bottom, and this one didn't have a bag. Poor thing. No love. I'll find it a good bag. This is Sanctuary in the Vizio base by Desert Vista Dye Works. So this one is a 75-25 wool nylon blend, 462 yards. You can see it in the ball, and you can see how the stripes go. So pretty. I don't remember who was knitting this, but somebody was. I saw it and wanted it, so I got it. And these are size 1s. I want to say it's been a year, maybe 2. So, looking at my project page for this, I love her variegated gray. Look how pretty that is. Looking at my project page, these were part of the Sassy Pants Knitter, her Knit All Your Balls, that knit along she did one year. I think it was 2016. I had started this for that, so it's been a while. So I'm gonna finish those up too. So that's it for knitting. Next up is going to be the most recent update into the Adore Knit Etsy shop. So that's where I sell stitch markers. If you're interested, please hang out and check it out. If you're not, thanks for watching. Have a great 10 days or so until I see you again. And so I don't want to tempt fate and go outside in the heat. So sorry, we're recording inside. But this is my little dining room nook. We usually eat at the bar at the countertop behind you. But this is a cute little place too in our house. So I thought I'd record here with you. I hope his stare is not going directly into your soul and making you feel sad.